Hello. So guys, it's Arlene again. I hope you guys are having a great Friday so far. I'm done with my work for the day, and I thought I'd come on and show you guys how I created these smaller butterfly clusters. In my last video, I showed you guys how I did my larger butterfly cluster slash closure for journals. This time I wanted to create something, and this is really what I resort to when I when I don't know what to create, but I want to create something. So I typically do clusters, and of course it will be butterflies. I absolutely love my butterflies. So I decided to make the minier versions of my butterfly clusters and turn them into altered paper clips. So I added a paper clip in the back. These can be done in so many different ways. This is just how I did mine, using whatever I had on hand. So here's a couple of them. I showed some of the photos on Instagram. This was one of my favorite ones, this one of the pink one. So I shared some of these pictures on Instagram yesterday. So basically, they can be easily clipped on a page of a book, like that. You could put them on a tag as well, which I was thinking about doing, to decorate a tag. And look at how cute is that. Like, so cute. And I mean, you can go ahead and not put a paper clip in the back and, you know, just use it as an embellishment, but you could still use it as an embellishment. Guys, sorry, you know that I struggle with my talking sometimes. You can still use it as an embellishment, but as a removable one, and I think it's just perfect. So multi-purpose. I really love these, and I thought, you know, maybe some of you will love them as well, so why not show you my process of how I made them, and hopefully it inspires somebody to try them at home. So these are just a couple that I did. The materials that I've used for this, this one I did a while back, and I typically make the body of the butterfly using glass beads. With these, I didn't add them in yet. I might not, I'm not sure. I didn't add a paper clip to this one, so this is just an embellishment. Same with this one. In the past, I've made a lot of these clusters using some words from Tim Holtz to put sentiments on it, some with, some without. And like I said, they're very multi-purpose, and I just think they're really cute. So the butterflies that I've used for these are Prima Butterflies. So they come in this pack. One of my friends actually gifted these to me, so I fell in love with them. I love the fact that the wings are like 3D. They have like a vellum top, and it makes it look like an actual real wing. And it's already bordered in gold for me. If you guys been watching my stuff before, you know that I love gold. So I've used a lot of the Tim Holtz butterflies. So these are some of the Tim Holtz butterflies. And these I also dabbed on with some gold glitter. But you don't have to. That was just one of my preferences. And I don't do it with all of them. I didn't do that with this one. This one is not a Tim Holtz butterfly. These are butterfly die cuts that I got from a shop on Etsy. I don't remember the name, but I'll look them up and I'll leave the link below if you're interested. Okay, so I'm gonna move these aside. So those are the butterflies that I use for the mini ones. The Tim Holtz pack come with it comes in the botanical his botanical pack that has mostly florals. And so mixed in, you have medium, really tiny, and large butterflies. So for the larger, like I showed in the last video, this is an example of the larger one that I've done using the large Tim Holtz butterfly. So I mentioned in the last video that I used, just to make the base of the cluster, I use this coffee dyed gauze. I like to use it a lot. This is from Vintage Polka Dot Shop. And then the name of this fabric that I was talking about is, I wrote it down because I couldn't remember. It's Osnaburg fabric ribbon. And this is also from Vintage Polka Dot Shop. So I love to use these in clusters. They're used as a base. I think it gives the clusters such a cute effect. As you can see, I typically cover the base with the gauze first. I also use a lot of cheesecloth to give it more texture. So that's like the typical base that I use. And then I have a big basket here, messy basket, with all kinds of scrap pieces of fabrics, mostly doilies, so vintage doily pieces. So I'm going to use some of these today. For the smaller ones, I like to use eyelash trim, so I have different kinds of eyelash trim. Mostly this one I use, the ivory one. I use some eyelash trim on this one, and I like the way that it just comes out. It gives it some more texture. And you can use some tulle, like little pieces of tulle. This is glitter tulle. That also looks cute. So you can use pretty much any kind of fabric that you like. That doilies, I think, and cheesecloth, as well as like if you have gauze. I really like the effect that it gives it. It gives it more of a vintage look, more textured, so that's my preference. And then for the paper clips, I just have these little gold ones on hand, so I'm using those. And for the base, I've mentioned in the previous video that I use a mixed media paper. I do use the sewing machine to stitch. I also use Fabri-Tac glue to, I kind of go in between gluing and sewing. For these smaller ones, you don't have to do too much sewing. I did sew, I stitched the center of this only. That's all that's needed. For the larger ones, I go around with the sewing machine to make sure that all the pieces are insecure. And then I stitch on the butterfly in the center, and then I stuff them. Because these are smaller, it's not really necessary. One chunky layer typically does it, and then you put the butterfly on top, and then you can just stitch right through. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. So yeah, mixed media paper, cardstock, a thin piece of cardboard, whatever you have on hand. You can use fabric glue to glue on all of your layers, or you can do the sewing machine like I do. That's my preference. So yeah, I don't have a hole punch. I don't have one of these circle punches. So yeah, I cut all of these by hand, but I've done these actually a couple months ago, and then I just keep a stack of them on hand. These I distressed, and I added some glitter, but it's not necessary because it will get covered up with the layers. However, the bottom of these, as you'll see here, you either want to have it where you can either paint it, like this one's a little bit distressed and painted, because it'll show a little bit, but not really, because you're going to be sticking it on. But you know, if you want to paint it, you can paint it, or you can cut a piece of fabric, as I did with my larger one in the last video, and just cover it up with fabric, which I think also looks really cute. So those are optional. I don't think there's really any wrong way of doing it. I just add a second layer because the first layer, you know, you're gonna see all the stitching, and if you like it that way, then you know that's fine. If you're gonna make them as altered paper clips, then yeah, definitely you'll need two pieces. That way, you can put the paper clip on, and then you just seal it up like this. So the butterfly cluster is here, and then basically this second part you put the paper clip on, and then you'll attach it. And to attach that, I used art glitter glue, and it stuck on perfectly fine. But you can also use this is B700 multi-purpose adhesive. This is like if you want to use it on metals and stuff, I think. I purchased this for something else. It's waterproof. Yeah, honestly, it's supposed to be a stronger glue. But these are just like to glue the paper together and the paper clips. So I think Fabri-Tac would also work just fine. So just a strong glue. All right, so I think I'm not good with tutorials, guys. This is usually why I kind of forward it. But yeah. Oh, and I also have, you know, scrap pieces of colorful lace that can also be used. So it's whatever you have on hand. So I typically take a piece of my coffee dyed gauze, and I cover the base, and because they're grungy, I like to just shred it a little bit with my finger. Fray it, that's the word. And then I lay it over the top. You could add as many or as little pieces as you'd like. I like a lot more on mine. Maybe I'll add a piece of the glitter tool, not too much. It may not even show at this point. Okay. Now for the cheesecloth, I cut out a strip from the big piece of cheesecloth, and after I make the strip, I usually cut a little piece off like this, and I fold it over the two corners. So I bring the two corners of the rectangle or the square that you cut out, and I fold it, and then I kind of scrunch it up like this, and then I just place it on. So if you were gonna glue, you could probably just put a dot of fabric glue here and hold that down. And I do it again. I don't know if I'm explaining this right. I hope so. So that way you have like a little bunch like that. And this just sticks out pretty cute on the sides. So I'll lay it over like this. Right. Then I take a piece of doily for more texture. And I just lay it across. There was another piece that I really like. Probably can't find it right now. All my journals came tumbling down. Okay. Oh. If you have vintage pieces, that's great. I love how this vintage, I think this was a tablecloth that I had from an order I placed like years ago. Not years ago, but like a year ago, and I still have some. So I like the way these pieces look. also sticking out. It kind of goes along with that shabby chic look. And if you have a piece of lace, lace looks nice also laid across on it. I only have a teeny tiny piece left of this beautiful vintage doily. So if you have any doilies like this lying around, they look really cute on these clusters, but you don't have to. The more layers you have, the cuter it comes out. Okay, so I'm gonna use some of the ivory, a piece of the ivory eyelash trim. I have a hard time finding this particular color and style. I haven't seen it really in Hobby Lobby unless I didn't go out at the right time. I found this in Hobby Lobby. I found this one in Hobby Lobby. So I guess it depends where you go. Now, I like to put this one sometimes underneath and I just twirl it around. And this allows for the eyelash trim to stick out. Then I lay over another piece of lace. Then I'll go in with a butterfly. This part also I tend to you play around with it until you get it where you like it. So I might do that sideways like this. Because this one is kind of chunky, I might just go on and do a zigzag stitch to make sure all this is adhered. Then I'll go over and lay this on top. So I'll be right back. Okay, so this is, oh, guys, I broke off one of poor butterfly. Like, she lost one of her antennas. Gosh. Oh, well, you don't want to do that, but oh man, I might just tear it off so she could have, oh gosh, I killed my butterfly's antennas. Maybe I can invent some antennas for her. Oh my goodness. Okay, so all right, well, this is just an example of what you know, of how you do it. So it's kind of like this. I think it's too much here. And if you think it's too much, you could just trim some off, you know. It's all on preference. Okay, so once you've adhered the fabric, adhered the butterfly in the center, this is how mine looks, because I stitched on, since it was chunky, I stitched on the fabric just once and then the butterfly right in the center. So now once you have it stitched on, you'll take another piece of your watercolor paper and then you'll just attach the paper clip. I leave the longer piece out and then the shorter piece on the inside. And then I just leave a little bit sticking out, and that's also a preference thing. That's if anybody wants to maybe attach a charm at the end of it. So I used art glitter glue on the last ones that I've made, and I just try to add a little bit underneath. I try to go underneath the paper clip and then a little bit over the top, and then I'll just cover the entire circle with glue. If you're doing fabric, then you could probably just do the same thing with Fabri-Tac. So then I make sure that this is sticking in the direction that I want it. Then I go ahead, once it's in the right direction, like where the head is at, then I'll press it on. So you want to make sure that you get that paper clip really tight in there so it doesn't come out, and then I go around and press the edges. And that's pretty much it. Everybody's base will be different. You can use a circle punch. I didn't use that because I don't have any. I cut these out by hand, but if you make a large batch, you could always have it on hand like I do. And there you have it. I have a little butterfly paper clip that could be attached to your books. And then you'll just repeat the process with another one. Maybe I don't have one of these, so actually I don't have a yellow one. I'll do a yellow one. Once again, you take a base. You can leave the painted side up. It doesn't have to be painted. That one's just painted. Cover your base with a fabric of your choice. I'm sorry if I don't explain this so great, guys. I'm not used to doing tutorials, but I'm hoping that this is helpful for somebody. Okay. And when I add 2 layers of the same fabric, I also like to kind of crisscross them a bit so that each of the corners are sticking out. Okay, then I did cheesecloth. I lost my cheesecloth. You might want to try to stay organized so that you can find your things. Okay, once again, I twist it up like that and then lay it down. Take another piece and bend it over, so like that, and you place it down. So that's the base. Here I'm gonna take one of these little pieces and lay it down. I'm wondering if I should add some, maybe not. This butterfly has a little bit of that turquoise, so maybe we can keep a little bit of that in there. So I don't know, maybe. Then a piece of this and some eyelash trim. Once again, just kind of twirl it. and add that to the top. I'm not sure if I'm liking that extra. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not crazy about that little. Okay, I don't know, maybe because I'm just used to the neutrals. I don't know if you guys have that problem too. I get used to one pattern and it's hard to get me out of it. Okay, so I'm not gonna go with that. And I think I can go through with the sewing machine for that. Okay, so I stitched it on. So now I'm just gonna trim off the extra pieces of yarn, even though in this case you're doing a butterfly cluster. So I lift up the wings just slightly, and I also kind of just adjust some of the lace so that certain parts are sticking out. I like it like that. There you go. So that's another one. And once again, you could always go on. I do use, which I have to close this. Guys, if you don't close this art glitter glue, gosh, it definitely becomes a problem. So when I'm adding the glass beads, I use like those little seed beads, and I put art glitter glue in the center. And I just lay them down with one of those like tweezers, and just like that, like you add a little bit more decoration. So let's do the back. Once again, shorter part of the paper clip on the inside, longer part on the outside, and then glue. So I just lift it up slightly to get under the paper clip. Then I go over the top and then just cover up the rest of your base with glue. So yeah, I just press it down just enough to make sure everything adheres completely. And there you go. We did 2. And you'll follow the same thing with these Prima Butterflies. You'll just follow the same method, only that these get stitched instead of in the center. You stitch them on the wings, and I covered up that stitching because I don't like the stitching right on like the center of the wing. So I just used a piece of lace and used fabric tack to cover it up, and I actually like it because it adds another layer to the wing. So I think it just looks really pretty there actually. So that's how we do them. In this one, to add some color, I used some of that green eyelash trim. So you can use colorful eyelash trim to add pops of color, or in this red one, I used a piece of that dark red lace. So, all right, guys, I hope you found this helpful. I hope I explained it well enough. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And once again, you can find me on my Instagram account. I'm very active there. I do add posts of what I'm working on, and just updates on what I'm doing and getting to know me a little bit more. So I hope you like this video, and thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.